Hi everybody, it's Catherine from In the Pink Designs. I hope everyone is doing well this week. I have a project from the new annual catalog again, another new bundle called Little Dreamers. I think it's adorable. This time I used the little cow and I used the little dreamer dies for the clouds, the stars, and the moon. So, the box measures 4 by 3.5 by 1 1/4, and it opens like this. And inside I have a gift card and a burp cloth. Alrighty, I just folded the burp cloth up small and put it in here, but you could also fit a pacifier holder, or if you wanted to use it for favors for the if there's a baby shower, you could use, instead of congratulations on your new little one, you could say a star is born or little baby big love. But I picked congratulations on your new little one because we have a new little one coming in the family, a little boy, in July. So that's why I picked that. I used the Countryside Inn Designer Series paper along with some Night of Navy cardstock, and this is Boho ribbon. This is the new ribbon. It is called Textured Ribbon, and we have them in the in colors, and this one is Boho Blue. Alright, so what we need for this project is a piece of Night of Navy cardstock that is 11 by 6, some basic white for stamping. We need another piece, another scrap of basic white that I cut it down to about 3/4 by 3, and then I cut it after I stamped the sentiment on it. We need 2 pieces of the Countryside Inn DSP that are 3 3/4 by 3 1/4. 2 for the long sides that are 3 3/4 by 1. And 2 for the short sides that are 3 1/4 by 1. Alright. And I also cut out from the dies, I cut the two clouds out of Night of Navy, and the moon and 3 stars out of Daffodil Delight. Okay, so this, I used this here. You can do a star background, or you can just use the stars that it cuts out. I use the stars that it cuts out. If you want bigger stars, there's one with 3 bigger stars there. Alright, so I'm going to get my Simply Scored. And we're going to start on the 11-inch side, and we're going to score at 1 1/4, 5 1/4, 6 1/2, and 10 1/2. Then we are going to turn it to the 6-inch side, and we're going to score at 1 1/4 and at 4 3/4. Alright. Now I'm just going to fold and burnish all of the score lines. Alright, so we're going to start with the skinniest rectangle on the right hand side, and this is what we're going to be doing. Alright, so we're going to start on the bottom left, and we're going to go to the first score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge each side of the square. Go to the next score line, cut it to the first score line, next score line, cut it to the first score line, and then wedge each side of the square. Okay, go to the next score line, cut it to the first score line, and just wedge a little bit up into the skinny rectangle. Okay, now I'm going to turn it to the other side so the skinny rectangle's on the left. Go to the first score line, cut it to the first score line, and then wedge up into the skinny rectangle. next score line, cut it to the first score line, next score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge each side of the square. Okay, go to the next score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge each side of the square. Okay, now I'm putting tear tape on what's left of the skinny rectangle next to the score line. Take your pick tool to get the backing off. Sorry, before we put it together, we want to round the corners of the top flaps. So I'm going to round all 4. All right. Now, we're going to flip the whole thing over, flip over the side with the tape, and flip the other side over to meet it. All right, so now I'll just close the top for now. This is our back. We're going to put the side tabs in. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on each tab, and we're going to pull in the back flap and then put some more glue here and pull in the front one, and just make sure that everything's nice and straight on the sides. All right, and then I'm going to make sure with my take your pick tool that those tabs adhere down. All right, now we need to put our DSP on. The 2 pieces that are 3 3/4 by 3 1/4 on the front and the back. Long sides 3 3/4 by 1, and the short sides 3 1/4 by 1. And I'm going to put them all on with liquid glue. Okay, and before we put our top flap here, we want to round the corners of the top of it to match. Just like that. So now let's just let this dry a minute and we'll do some stamping. And for the cute little cow, I'm going to be doing with Tuxedo Black Ink. Great. And then for the sentiment, I'm using Night of Navy. Great. All right. And I'm just going to use the Little Dreamers dies to cut out the cow, and I'll be right back. Okay, there's our cow. And I'm just using 2. I'm using light Smoky Slate and light Petal Pink, and I'm just going to do his snout with Petal Pink. Okay, and with the light Smoky Slate, I'm going to do this ear here. And I'm just going to kind of come down onto this side of his face here. Under his mouth too. And then the other ear. And down from that. And then I'm going to do the hooves. This spot here, and the little tail. Okay, that's pretty simple coloring for this one. Alrighty, now we would put our burp cloth in, or whatever it is you're putting in, but I'm not going to do that so that I have it for the picture and this stays nicely tied. All right, and then I'm going to take a 1/4 inch hole punch, and I'm going to try for the middle, about 1.5 inches apart, and then close it and make some pencil marks onto the bottom. Yep, okay. And then we're going to punch these. Okay. All right. So now we need our boho textured ribbon. And we're going to go in through the top. This is only if you want to keep it attached. If not, you can come up from the bottoms, then come up through here. But I'm going to leave it attached so I don't have to waste any extra ribbon. And I'm going to go down the top and then back up this way. And then back out my top again. I'm going to need just a little bit more. There we go. And then just close it and pull it. And then we're going to make a knot. So I start with my tail on the bottom right, and then I'm going to make a loop. Go this way it wants to go. No. I'm just going to make a loop and go over the back to the front with the other side and stick the loop through the hole. And then you should, sometimes it's a little harder, but you should land up with your tails both going down. Okay, and I just love this closure because you don't need clips, you don't need adhesive, just closes itself like that with some ribbon. And then I'm just gonna clip it off. I'm going to leave them a little long so that they can close it themselves again if they want to. All right. Okay, now we need, let's use our silicone mat. And let's get all of our bits out. First, I'm going to attach the little cloud about right there with liquid glue. Then I'm going to put some mini dimensionals and a little bit of an edge on the moon. Let's do the minis first. I'm going to try to get the minis as close as I can to the edges. And then I just used a little edge so that those little corners of the moon are not hanging out. But you can, if you want to, you can just glue the moon down if you don't want to deal with this. Okay. And then I'm going to put the moon right here at the edge of the little cloud. And then I'm going to put dimensionals on this one. And we're going to put this down over here. Okay. Now for the stars will wait. So we need to cut our sentiment, and all I'm going to do is just cut it straight at the end, and at the beginning I'm going to slant it down to a point on the bottom. And we're going to put that down right there with liquid glue. And I'm going to leave about 1/8 of an inch of DSP showing on the 3 sides. Okay, then we'll put our little guy on with dimensionals. Oh, I noticed I didn't poke out his little tail spot there. Okay. All right, and then we're just going to set our little guy right there. All right, then we need our mat definitely, and we need some liquid glue on the edge. And I'm just going to do a little zigzag of liquid glue. And the sticky end of our Take Your Pick tool. I'm going to make sure that all our stars are right side up. And I'm just going to get a little bit of glue on them and then place them. One up here. And one down there. All right, and then I'll just wipe that off. Okay, and for the final touch, I'm going to get some of the new 2022 to 2024 in color pearls, and we're going to be using the Starry Sky ones. And I'm going to put one there, one there, and one there. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. All of the measurements and information is on my blog that is linked below, along with the link to my shop. Please use this host code if you're going to be purchasing anything under $150, not including tax and shipping. And have a great day. A great Mother's Day to all the moms, even doggy moms, all kinds of moms. Thank you so much for everything you do. And have a great weekend. And I will see you Tuesday. Bye.